Hello! Your unmemorable neighborhood ham is back and here to talk about feelings. Specifically my feelings when I'm queuing solo teen in VHS. I've wanted to make this for a while but refrained because I wasn't exactly sure how I genuinely felt and I wanted to process it properly. Feelings while playing the game can range wildly from anxiety that causes me to drink a tall, frosty glass of bad decision juice. Oh, come on. What the fuck? To moments of absolute satisfaction that make me feel as though dopamine has been smeared all over my brain like cream cheese on a New York bagel.
Thank you.
No one.
Oh, he wants my zoo. Oh!
Oh, I got him to win!
GG! Holy fuck. That was a good shot.
GG's team. I did it! I didn't fuck up. Let's go! So I want to zero in on some key moments during games that I find personally stressful or rewarding. I also want to tie some of it back to general community mantras and opinions, as they also play a role in molding some of my emotions. I'm not doing so to call anyone out or to disparage the opinions or feelings of the community. They just simply have an impact on me as an individual, and there is likely some commonality within the community when it comes to the effect that it has. The general idea here is to only provide what I am thinking and how I am feeling about the game and the correlation it has with community discussions. It is not to provide critique of game state or balance. I am not a game dev and I am not a high skill player that can make any substantiated claims about those topics. As a quick aside, I do not use any perks or weapon mods. I have not even spent any of my aura on my characters. I understand that some perks or mods have the potential to enhance the experience, but this is how I choose and prefer to play. So nuts to you. Oh, that sound that plays when you find a lobby. I'm initially filled with joy that I finally found a game after 10 or more minutes, but I quickly start cycling through the same set of questions in my head that I do every time I find a lobby. Who are my teammates? Have I played with them before? Who is the monster? Are they someone I know is going to absolutely dumpster me? I feel so elated when I see certain names in my lobby because I know them well and I have a great degree of comfortability in their presence. It's such a relief. Conversely, I can also feel a moderate amount of dread when I see certain other names. This is not to say that I don't appreciate everyone who plays the game, and I am certainly not trying to say that these people are individuals I wish to avoid. The sense of dread comes from within, and seeing their names is simply a catalyst for my inner dialogue. I know there are monsters that will absolutely and unequivocally dumpster me. It's just a fact that can't be avoided, and my feelings in those instances stem from the fact that I am not adequately skilled enough to outplay them. So I feel defeated once I see their name in the lobby. Ironically, I also feel somewhat emboldened at the same time, like maybe this is the one time I will manage to overcome them. It's not only monsters that can make me nervous in this way. There are team players that I also get very nervous and feel quite a bit of anxiety about being on a team with. I worry about how I performed in the past with them, and I feel a lot more pressure to perform better this time. I don't want to let my team down. Nobody wants to let their team down. I fucking missed! I'm the worst! This happens to me so frequently in VHS because there isn't a huge player base on at any given time, so the odds of me running into the same people is quite high. It's not outside the norm to be matched with the same people for 5+ games in a row, So being confronted with the opportunity to continually let the same people down is super demoralizing. While the lobby alone can shape the way I am feeling as I enter a game, it's certainly not the only contributing factor. Now, this doesn't happen every match, but I'm sure we've all experienced this dozens of times. Game loads, monster transforms, you start crafting, then you hear that thumping. They're on me near Overlook.
Yep,
You know it's time to hightail it out of there. This is another one of those moments where I am filled with a fair bit of anxiety. I've been found first, and the onus is on me to waste as much of their time as humanly possible when we have no weapons on the board, while also being cognizant of where my teammates are crafting. In an instant, I need to be able to assess where the monster is coming from and plan my exodus accordingly, while also taking inventory of the team using the HUD. It's crucial that I not only waste the monster's time, but also waste their time in a direction that doesn't lead them to crafting teams. This first chase can set the tone for the entire match. If I make a grave mistake, it could turn into a disgusting snowball for the monster. On the other side of that coin, it can also feel very rewarding to get a good chase going, where you delay the monster long enough that even while you face plant into that floor, you can smile with a sense of solace when you glance at the HUD and can see completed weapons. I have successfully provided my team with the time and space they require to apply pressure with their weapons. They will have an easier time fighting the monster, and can more effectively get me back up off the ground safely so that I can start crafting a weapon of my own. But even when I manage to craft a weapon, I still don't always feel entirely confident. Weapons, the crux of the teen experience. In the right hands, any one of the 12 weapons available to teens can be devastating for the monster. Reaching a point where I feel that confident with these weapons has proven to be a rather lengthy and arduous task. Some weapons I definitely feel more proficient in using than others. We all have our favorite weapons that feel like go-to weapons, regardless of who the monster is. But for the most part, I don't usually feel like I've truly utilized a weapon adequately. It regularly feels like it was luck, or like the monster was purposely allowing me to get the strike. I perform so inconsistently with the weapons that it feels like the only logical conclusion is that I need to simply get good. Some monster players are just so good at predicting average teen behavior that I feel utterly powerless. Even if I'm in a situation that more experienced teens would have the advantage, the skill disparity just seems so mountainous. Just as I can feel like an underwhelming presence that is undeserving of the strikes I just claimed, I can also feel like David slaying Goliath with my mighty slingshot. Even just managing to delay the monster and save a teammate by kiting them with my weapon is so rewarding. It's that sense of teamwork and knowing that I've affected positive change for my team with my weapon that fills me with so much gratification. Just being able to use a weapon effectively at the exact moment your team needs you is peak teen experience. Weapons have kind of always felt like a double-edged blade to me. They have the ability to make me feel like a powerhouse that the monster can't retaliate against, while also managing to make me feel like a buffoon that Panic Fire's curse sword wakes into the wall, and subsequently gets smacked by the monster and force-fed my own mistakes. Like any game, it all boils down to skill and understanding of the game. I'd like to think I have a decent understanding of the game, but sometimes when you read what is being discussed in the community, it just makes you feel like you know nothing at all. I would like to preface this all by saying that I love the VHS community. I've met so many wonderful people through this game, and I'm not here to discount anyone's opinions on the game, and me feeling upsetty spaghetti about my own performance does not invalidate what the community says. I'm simply putting into words how I feel about playing the game and the role that community discussions have in shaping those feelings. I'm not trying to pick on Werewolf here, but it's a prime example of what I want to talk about. We've all been in this situation at one point or another. You just want to use your weapon, but you hear that werewolf howl and suddenly you're completely useless for 8.5 seconds. To this day, I still can't deal with werewolf effectively. I have the hardest time dealing with werewolf. I find that 95% of the time, I'm either far enough away to not get howled, but subsequently also too far away to reach my teammate in time, or I'm too close and then get disabled by howl and can't help in that scenario either. I can't seem to ever find that perfect sweet spot. Some of us turn to the community for answers or tips on what to do because we feel so overwhelmed by werewolf. The community is always quick to provide some advice, but there's almost always this surrounding conversation about how weak werewolf is and how easy it is to counter werewolf. When you spend a vast majority of your game struggling against this monster, and then you see the community talking about how weak that monster is, you start looking inwards and wondering, what's wrong with me? Why can't I easily deal with this monster like everyone says I should be able to? This game is mostly being played by that dedicated subset of players that have been with the game for a long time. So it's more than reasonable to accept what they are saying as truth. Being unable to apply their advice into a successful, tangible result makes me feel a little hopeless. Like maybe I'll never be good enough to succeed at this game. Especially since many of them also echo that it's a teen-sided game. So on top of having all of their top shelf advice, I'm also playing an advantageous role. How can I possibly keep failing this spectacularly? I should be winning hand over fist according to them, and yet I can't. At the end of the day, the onus is on me to improve. It's not the fault of the community in any capacity. It's just a bit demoralizing that the things that I struggle with daily are just complete non-issues for the more experienced leg of the community. And while the things they say will inevitably make me question my own abilities, it does not deter me from wanting to play. It's not my intention to make it appear as though I'm shining a negative light on the community. You are all amazing, and you are the fuel that keeps this engine running. I appreciate and love every single one of you. VHS continues to be a game that I return to over and over again. Despite having doubts in my own abilities and sometimes psyching myself out in the lobby, I really do have a stellar time playing VHS. I believe the game has great bones and tons of potential. I enjoyed the gameplay loop and I have no intentions of stopping playing anytime soon. I am wholly responsible for my own improvement and handling my emotions as they pertain to my performance and the degree to which I compare said performance with community opinions. I just want to improve and provide value to each and every match I'm in, for both sides. I want to be able to provide value to my team, as well as provide challenging and rewarding opposition to the monster. I don't care one bit about winning. Ultimately, I want to be able to have fun, while also not causing anyone in the lobby to think, "Oh no, Ham's in the lobby." While I'm sure I will continue to be dog shit for some time, I really am trying my best. I love this game and I appreciate the devs at Hellbent for creating this product for us all to enjoy. It has fostered a community that I am glad to be a part of. I really hope this game succeeds and manages to carve out its own space. I want to continue growing with the game and all of you. I want to keep having fun and wholesome experiences. I know that this video did not provide any technical info, insight into game balance, or fun and interesting gameplay, but I just really wanted to create a video that was genuine and from the heart. If you stuck it out this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, bud.